Disability Discrimination by me, Catherine Scott. So before we get started, here are some key points that you'll be learning in this module. The definition of disability discrimination and what it entails, looking into the symbolic interactionist perspective, certain stigmas and examples of disability discrimination, and ways to interact with people of diverse nature. So the question is, what is disability discrimination? Disability discrimination occurs when a person with a disability is treated less favorably than a person who does not have a disability. There are many different types of disability. You have mental disability, deaf, hearing impairment, socializing and emotional disability, learning disability, mental disability, and physical disability. These disabilities are seen as weakness in our society, which contributes to the stereotypes that leads to the discrimination against the disabled. Because people with disabilities may be denied jobs, housing, and other opportunities, this is where the Americans with Disability Act of 1990 came about. It marked a victory in the ongoing struggle of over 49 million people with disabilities to overcome barriers that prevent their full participation in American society. The ADA has provided powerful means to increase workplace inequality, promote social integration, and enhance the fundamental dignity of people with disabilities. The purpose of this law is to make sure that people with disabilities have the same rights and opportunities as everyone else, so that Linda had the same opportunities and goals as Debbie. Let's take a listen to Stacy's story as she expresses her life experience being a person with a disability.
This is my story. My parents did not respect me because I was different. They were in denial that I had a learning disability. In high school, I was in special education classes. Students judged me and ridiculed me for having a learning disability. They called me names and asked me strange questions like, "Did your parents drop you and you become retarded?" The students created rumors and referred to me as if I was stupid. They isolated me during lunch. When I told my parents about these situations, they brushed me off instead of being there for me. They wanted me to be normal and act like other people. I still don't know what normal is, because all I could do was be me. I was isolated from everyone. I felt so alone. I failed 10th grade like 3 times. For some reason, I just could not pass. I got to the point where I stopped caring about school and started being rebellious. Looking back, I was just angry at how the world treated me. All I wanted was a friend or someone to talk to. I was misdiagnosed with several different kinds of disabilities since the day I was born. But after I graduated high school, I was professionally diagnosed with nonverbal learning disorder. This disorder can be confused with Asperger's syndrome because some of the characteristics overlap. This disorder does not mean I'm not verbal. It just means I have problems understanding cues in social settings. Also, it causes me to learn life skills more slowly. These include activities such as driving, socializing, and cooking. It is important to note that people with nonverbal learning disorder want to be around people and desire friends. The challenges that I encountered motivated me to find programs that help me overcome this disorder. People who have disabilities must be treated with kindness, openness, and respect. They should be accepted for who they are. We are strong individuals who learn differently and can play role models to others as well. To put it simply, just treat others the way you want to be treated. People should take the time to understand instead of being awkward, mean, and isolating people with disabilities. They are not a danger to the public. I am proud of having a disability. I would not change myself for what society would find to be more comfortable. I am who I am, and I am who I was made to be. It is time to accept people with disabilities for who they are and not what they have.
It is human nature to despise those that are different than normal. Everyone has a different perception of normal, and when someone cuts that boundary, it results in discrimination. In a symbolic interactionist perspective, they focus on face-to-face interactions, micro-level groups, attitudes, and sometimes cultural setting influences also result in discrimination against the disabled. Society's attitude toward people with disabilities. Still today, there is not only discrimination through accessibility issues, but also direct, ignorant, and destructive discrimination. Approximately 52 million Americans have some type of disabling condition, such as cerebral palsy, mental retardation, depression, spinal cord injury, visual impairment, arthritis, and many more. Some of the current stigmas today are people with disabilities may be presumed to be helpless, unable to take care of themselves, or unable to make their own decisions. Some with intellectual disability don't understand, and that's not the case. Some of the most influential people today have succeeded with their disability, such as Justin Timberlake, Whoopi Goldberg, Cher, Tom Cruise, Michael Phelps, Howie, Helen Keller, Stephen Hawking, Stevie Wonder, FDR, and Beethoven. 20% of the world suffer from a disability, meaning 1 out of every 5 people is disabled. They are the largest minorities of the world, yet the most ignored. Here are some key ways to interact with people with disabilities. Number 1, speak directly to the individual. Some may have a companion or interpreter, but if you are directly speaking with the individual, make eye contact with them and not their interpreter. Don't guess what the individual is saying. If you don't understand, ask for clarification. Do ask individuals with speech impairments how they prefer to communicate. For examples, some people may write or type the communication, or some may establish yes or no signals. And lastly, don't use negative words to describe the disabilities. Words such as a tragedy or suffering. It may cause a stigmatizing view of a disability. Mental and physical disabilities are often not well understood. With lack of understanding comes discrimination against people with disabilities. However, a growing trend of awareness from the media, advocate groups, and development of legal mechanisms have helped justice to these people and continue to improve the situation. Those with disabilities have to accept their lives as being deprived of some joyful occasions that may never happen. They may not be able to be active with their children, dream jobs may not be within grasp, memories may not be accessible while others take them for granted. Life is hard with a disability, but additionally, in daily life, individuals seek the approval, acceptance, and companionship of their peers. Those with disabilities are no different than us. Hey Clara, can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
What's the difference between me and you?
Nothing.